Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. The SNP always say they are the party of business. They want to increase business in Scotland. They want to give businesses a leg up in Scotland, and that businesses can trust them. Turns out, like so much else, that's a lie. They promised to return Scottish business rates back to a par with England, and yet here they are years later, and they still haven't done it, and they have no intention of doing it. And this is why the high streets are dying a death. This is why shops are shuttering up, boarding up, and you walk past so many previously busy shops, but now nobody can afford to run them because the business rates are so high. So much for their promises on helping business, so much for being the party of business, and so much for their promises. You can't keep them because you can't trust these people at all. Anyway, we'll have a look at this article and see what is going on and why yet another promise has been broken. So fury as the SNP roll back on their pledge to put Scottish business rates back on a par with England. The Nats promised to return to a level playing field by scrapping the $60 million a year Scottish-only tax on medium and large firms, which has been blamed for the state of the country's high streets. The SNP government looks to have gone back on a pledge in the 2021 manifesto to restore parity with England on a business rates for medium and large sized firms. Gosh, the SNP going back on a manifesto promise. Tell me it ain't so. Tell me that that's never happened before or will ever happen again. Of course it is. You can't believe a word that comes out of their mouths. Finance Minister Tom Arthur told MSPs the tax-hungry Nat administration will only return to a level playing field when affordable and over the course of this parliament. Well, it could be affordable if you stopped wasting money everywhere else. The Scotland-only higher property business rates cost companies $60 million a year and has been blamed for damaging perceptions of the country's economic competitiveness. Yeah, when you are busy looking to set up a store or set up a business, and you can go, oh, well, they're going to charge me, let's say, $10,000 a year in business rates, and they're going to charge me $15,000 a year in business rates, you're immediately going to go, yeah, I wonder which side of the border I will put my business on. It's ridiculous, isn't it? David Lonsdale, the director of the Scottish Retail Consortium, said this apparent retraction of the timetable commitment to restore the level playing field with England on the higher property rates tax is incredibly frustrating and troubling, more so giving lingering concerns about Scotland's relative economic underperformance compared to the UK as a whole, and the pressing need to lift private sector investment. You need private sector investment to do anything. It doesn't matter what country you are. You need private sector investment. It's what brings money in. It's what brings jobs. It's what creates economies. And it seems that the SNP are doing their best to try and scare private investment away. You know, with higher taxes, with higher business rates, making planning harder at every stage, because the SNP want and demand complete control over everything, over every aspect of life in Scotland. And the trouble is, people don't want it, and they certainly don't want to pay for it. And so if you're a business owner who's thinking of starting a new company, it's easier and cheaper for you to wander a few miles south of the border and open up there and still make your money. And only the difference is you'll be making far more money because you won't be paying tax. And so they're not only losing that uplift tax that they would have otherwise had, they're losing all the tax because now all of that is going south of the border. So it's just like economic madness. But you don't expect anything less. They're morons. With Scottish First Ministers having already ignored the recommendation of their own Barclay review to end this Scotland-only surcharge by 2020, it's dispiriting that they won't even commit to remove before this Parliament ends, despite it being a manifesto commitment. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's only a promise that they made in their manifesto to get your vote. They've never had any intention of keeping it. They don't even know how to. Mr. Lonsdale said there was no credible justification why firms operating from 11,000 premises in Scotland are forking out more in rates than firms in comparable premises in England. He added, the surcharge only serves to make life tougher for those retailers affected by making it more expensive to maintain a shop presence on Scotland's high streets, and therefore They hire fewer people. They make smaller profits. It all snowballs. And if you could save money on the rates and possibly hire an extra person, that's another person contributing money into the bigger community. It is a massive uplift to any kind of community and the nation as a whole. But of course, when you've got morons running an economy, they don't understand this. They certainly don't understand the Laffer curve. Anyway, the Barclay Rates Review, led by the former chairman of the Royal Bank of Scotland, was set up by the SNP and called for parity with England to be restored by April 2020. So we're 3 years late. Still hasn't been done because they cannot do it. They don't know how to do it because it will cost 60 million a year, and they haven't got 60 million a year. That's how destitute the SNP's governance has left the country. If they can't afford that 60 million, which in the grand scheme of things isn't much, then you know that they are in deep trouble. Scottish Conservative MSP Liz Smith added, retail, hospitality and leisure industries have already been put at significant disadvantage because the Scottish Government would not commit in the recent budget to the 75% rates relief for 2024 that's available in England. And this was despite them having received the money in the Barnett consequentials to do so. So the money's been given to them to actually implement this, and they've chosen not to. They've chosen to spend it elsewhere. And I have a theory about all this underspending and all this money that seems to be disappearing. And I have a theory that it is quite shocking, but it will come out soon. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to spoil the surprise when I put that video up. But anyway, and keeping Scotland the highest tax part of the UK, as Tom Arthur seems, and the SNP government determined to do, directly undermines Ken Barclay's aim to make us competitive. High taxation means low investment. It's as simple as that. You get a smaller return with the higher taxation. And you drive customers away, you drive potential investors away, you drive everyone away, and then you end up with a bankrupt third world economy, which I think is the ultimate aim of the SNP. Anyway, let's round off there, and I shall come up. There really is no level to their economic ignorance, is there? I mean, these things are quite clear to anyone that is, except anyone working in the SNP. I always maintain they must, trawl the dregs of society to get the members, because no one can run an economy this badly unless it was deliberate. I mean, seriously, it's an appalling lack of power. It's an appalling abuse of power, sorry. It's an appalling lack of intelligence. Why would you do these things that can so obviously be seen to harm the economy? And it would be so easy to put right, especially as you've already had the money to do it. I think it's possibly, we can't do it because the money's come from England, and we don't want to be seen to being able to do this because of the English money. Is that what it is? Because if that's what it is, then you need to be voted out of office tomorrow, because you're making people's lives miserable because of your dogma. And it's as simple as that. Scotland deserves better. The people who invest in Scotland certainly deserve better. And these shopkeepers are struggling at the best of times, and you are doing things like this. I think it's terrible. You could actually be doing job creation with this, but you choose not to because of whatever political dogma that goes through your heads that says this is wrong, we mustn't reduce the rates to the same as England. You arseholes. Anyway, I shall finish there. Thank you very much for listening. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. Definitely leave a like, that's the big one. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, go shopping, spend your money in local shops, and goodbye.